Dad, Jeff Chambers played on the first team the Bobcats ever had here at Magnolia Central. And now his son playing for the Cardinals. Chambers almost up with a steal. Derek Mitchell at the buzzer, no good. As the third quarter comes to an end, Magnolia Central on top, 53-31, as they work the ball into James Craig. Craig has the ball almost stolen by Carter, works it over to Scott Shelton. Shelton picked up by Hoover. Shelton driving the lane, dishes it underneath for Dameron, and Dameron traveled with the basketball. So it'll belong to the Cardinals. Tracy Carter will walk it across the timeline on the right wing for Luke Rogers. Cross court for Freeman. Freeman for three. Shot no good. Long rebound, Luke Rogers. Rogers for three. Shot it too hard. Long rebound, Hoover. Hoover pull-up jumper. Shot it too hard. Fight for the basketball with Sean Dameron. Will pull it down for the Bobcats. Ball kicked out of bounds by Luke Rogers. It'll belong to the Bobcats. And Jerry Cardinals having a tough night tonight.
We knew as hot as they were at Riverside, it's going to be tough to come over here and do the same thing already. That's what they needed.
A whistle and traveling called against the Bobcats, so it goes back to the Cardinals. Hoover works it across the timeline on the left wing for Luke Rogers. Rogers pull-up jumper. Shot it too hard. Looks like all the Cardinal shots a little too hard, Jerry.
A little too hard, a little too soft.
Dameron on the right wing for Shelton. Nice pass underneath for Derek Mitchell. Mitchell shot partially blocked by Brooks. Dameron with a follow. And a jump ball going to be called. Possession arrow pointing towards McNary's end of the court.
Back in for the Bobcats.
It doesn't get any easier for the Cardinals, taking on a tough Hardin County team Tuesday night at Adamsville. Hardin County playing some good ball right now, Jerry. Carter works it in the corner for Freeman. Out top for Luke Rogers. Rogers called for traveling. And Luke just having a terrible night tonight. Probably the toughest game I've seen Luke play. It'll be Bobcat basketball. As the pass comes in for James Craig. Craig working against Daniel Gibbs. Outside for Scott Shelton. Nice pass underneath for Robinson. And Brian Robinson sticks it up and in for his 16th point. Luke Rogers into the left corner for Hoover. Hoover driving the lane, pull-up jumper is up and no good, but a whistle and a foul.
Number 23, James Craig.
55-31, 6 minutes left to play in the basketball game, and McNary with a big lead. Free throw by Bubba Hoover, up and good. Tracy Carter and Dexter Chambers checking in for the Cardinals, replacing Brad Freeman and Daniel Gibbs. Second shot by Hoover, up and in. Shelton jumps it underneath for Robinson. Robinson count the basket, and Robinson going to be fouled. Brian Robinson will be at the line for the Bobcats. And Robinson having a good night with 18 points. He's a good-looking ball player, Jerry. And the sad part, he's only a junior. We got to face him again next year. 58-33. Hoover works it inside for Anthony Brooks. Brooks back outside for Hoover. Hoover for three, up and in. Bubba now with 15 points. And a reach-in foul going against Daniel Gibbs.
Fouls on the Cardinals, number 40, Daniel Gibbs, his third, team 6.
Scott Shelton will work it in for the Bobcats. Works it into James Craig. Craig picked up in the rear court by Carter. Works it across the timeline. Out top for Shelton. NBA 3 is an air ball. And the ball goes back to the Cardinals. Daniel Gibbs will inbound it to Bubba Hoover. Hoover working across the timeline. Outside for Luke Rogers for three. Shot rims around, no good. Finlayson out with a rebound for the Bobcats. Hands it over to Scott Shelton. Shelton across court for James Craig. Pull-up jumper by Craig off the glass, too hard. Rebound, Robinson. Shot blocked by Rogers. Hoover comes away with it. Works it ahead to Brad Freeman. Freeman out top for Luke Rogers. Right wing for Hoover. Hoover for three. Shot no good. Rebound, Brian Robinson. Shelton works it inside for Finlayson. Fin move is partially blocked by Brooks. And a whistle and a foul, and they're going to get John Finlayson, I believe, coming over the back of Anthony Brooks. That's kind of hard to believe, isn't it? As physical as he plays inside, picking up his first foul with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go.
There's a red silver lane shot with a court sign behind on the back that needs to be moved. There's a red silver lane shot with a court sign behind in the back that needs to be moved.
Cardinals will work it inbounds. It'll be Brad Freeman to work it inbounds for the Cardinals. Hoover up ahead for Daniel Gibbs. Gibbs works it on the left wing for Rogers for three. Up and in by Luke Rogers. 58-39. And the Bobcats call for timeout with 4:21 left to play. We'll take this time to hear from a couple of our Cardinal sponsors. Back with more action right after this. A steal by Michael Walker and a reach-in foul by Scott Shelton. A little frustration as Walker stole the ball from Scott Shelton, and Shelton trying to get it back. Call for the foul. Walker, a 5'10" sophomore, at the free throw line. Free throw by Walker is no good. Rebound controlled by Bobby Dameron. Sean Sanders in for the Cardinals. Dameron works it over to Brian Robinson. Out top for Josh Smith. On the left wing for James Craig. And Craig pushed and fouled by Tracy Carter.
Foul on the Cardinals, number 32, Tracy Carter, his second, team 7.
It'll be James Craig, a 6'5" senior at the line for the Bobcats. They'll shoot 1+1. Free throw no good. Rebound Bubba Hoover. Hoover racing across the timeline. Outside for Brad Freeman. Freeman on the left wing for Luke Rogers. Into the corner for Bubba Hoover. Inside for Anthony Brooks.